Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
Region. Good to have you all and a very good evening.
Hello.
Of course, I'm now joined by Honorable Norbert Mao. He's caused a big storm as someone who is eyeing the big seat of the Speaker of Parliament. Will he live up to the job? Well, that's another question that we'll be asking him. Good to have you, Honorable Norbert Mao. Would it be rather harsh to describe the outgoing Parliament as lame duck, corrupt, weak, with high absenteeism?
Yes, it would be harsh, mainly because I think when we're outside here, we don't have a full appreciation of the pressures that individual members of Parliament go through. Secondly, I think Parliament is the only institution where you're elected and immediately start the job. Usually there is no training or adequate training you learn on the job.
I thought they undergo orientation.
Orientation
2 weeks.
2 weeks is not sufficient, in my opinion. As you may know, political parties themselves, where a majority of the MPs come from, never offer any serious training on politics, on governance, on legislation. Let me take the NRM, which is the largest party in the last 20 years of multipartyism. We go to Chankwanzi for at most 9 days. We have never exceeded that. In a crowd of 300 people. In this parliament, for example, NRM has close to 356 MPs. If you look at the working of the NRM caucus,
456.
there's no sufficient distilling of issues in the caucus because of the structure of the caucus. They sit once a month, unless there's something urgent coming. If you have 300 people and they're sitting one day, how much depth can you give your members? Now, once they leave the caucus or they leave Parliament, they now have to look at the different pressures they deal with. NRM, as far as I know, has not sufficiently oriented their members. How do you handle different pressures in the constituency and outside? Many of these members, when they are campaigning, they rarely do they look at the party manifesto, their party's manifesto. Every candidate tries to say, to promise what pleases, what will please the constituencies, their constituencies. And consequently, once they come into Parliament, they try to deal with the promises rather than what the winning party and the government promised. And therefore, many of the things come to them personally. Along the way, I have not seen the NRM. I doubt if other parties have done so. Maybe I'm not aware. For example, mid-term, and try to see who are my members of Parliament who are good in a broader sense. Maybe they are loyal, they know the work of a member of Parliament and Parliament as an institution and the government, who you would not want to lose. And therefore, when you are going to the next campaign cycle, you try to support them in such a way that their personal worries become the party's worries. So, I think we are harsh in that sense.
Yeah, but do you agree that there has been a degeneration?
In the second leg of my argument, then you leave people to be ingenious, to try to find out how do I survive for the 5 years, and probably when I'm seeking a re-election, there's a possibility of coming back. Now, that second one now pushes people to what you're talking about, to be compromised by different forces Could be within parliament, could be in a government system, could be outside of the government. And so, all the weaknesses you can say, the love for soft money, you want to earn money and you are not ready to ask, where is the source of money, which you call corruption, and many other tendencies. So, in that sense, you can blame the individual. Remember, many of these members of parliament become candidates, they sprout like mushrooms. Nobody tells them that this is what, you want to run? Do you know what it takes to run and win a constituency and become a good MP in the eyes of Ugandans, of the Ugandans like Agwanjara? Nobody. And so, I think we are harsh in that sense. But of course, we expect that by the time you want to become a leader, you have a baseline. And therefore, even if your party hasn't trained you, even if the parliamentary institution hasn't trained you well, we shall hold you responsible for your behavior and also the collective behavior. I have not been in parliament as a member of parliament, but I have lived in the corridors of parliament almost for the last 40 years. I was in NRC as an operative. I came back as a media person for the last 25 years. I have been a director at the movement and then NRM secretariat, so I know many pressures. In our context, if the president, for example, calls parliament or calls the speaker and says, I want this passed, or I don't want this matter to come to the table for discussion, he does not have to tell the speaker or to the caucus the real reason why he doesn't want or why he wants that matter. If you're a member of the NRM, usually we shall be obliged to support the position of the president. Now, the broader society here will say you are old, you probably you don't have brains, but you have taken into consideration the position of the president, who is the leader of your party, and who has stayed long. Many of these people are like his grandchildren.
Well,
So
I'll certainly get back to you.
They're not going to challenge him openly.
Honorable Salam Musumba, you belong to the 7th and 8th Parliament. 6th and 7th, apologies. And those two are being praised as stellar performers. What, in your opinion, has become of Parliament that today they can be described as rubber stamp, lame duck, corrupt?
Well, thank you once again. It's a great pleasure to be on the panel again and to congratulate OO, who, as cowardly as he is, chose not to face normal people, but to look for an electoral college that is manipulatable, that is manageable.
No.
But you deserve my congratulations.
That doesn't seem sincere.
No, it is. Let me look you in the face and congratulate you.
But I will miss to tango with you on the floor. Honestly.
You will have me any day, any time. What we have today is a pack of merchants that have raided the institution of Parliament.
A what?
A pack of merchants.
Wow.
Yeah, like merchants of Venice, who are not serious with the business of governance, and who don't even pay attention. If you're interested, what it takes to be a good legislator, first of all, is your interest to serve your nation. And that calls for self-discipline and for self-guidance. I'm glad that 3 of my colleagues here, we served with them, and we served as young people. And we gave it our all because we had hoped and we had intended that Uganda should never suffer the vagaries of politics that we were seeking to cure when we made the new constitution, made by us for us. And so the larger majority of this stock that we have today are really merchants, and they're not apologetic. Many of them are running away from previous previous situations that would have landed them to jail. If you did a deep study of who they are, name by name, and profile them, they're running away from agencies where they've lost money, where they've had issues. So it's a cleanser, the house. You use that immunity to thrive and make more money. You have a house that, under normal circumstances, in a normal polity, you would think that majorities, numbers, would give a good government the stability to do what is right. But as you heard from OO, it is run by fear. You don't want to contradict your leader. You don't want even, there's no opportunity for policy to be discussed, debated, and presented as a game changer.
Do you want to judge Parliament in isolation, or you consider this with the polity of the day?
Well, you asked me about Parliament, but in the general mix of things, we are running in a very dysfunctional way. And I don't think anybody is happy with what is happening to us. That's why you see people who have been at the helm of NRM for so long cannot thrive, do not have any other operating space in which to grow politics. And so all of them must run to Parliament as the only place for doing so. I think the Parliamentary Commission has largely been jammed and deformed because it was meant to do a lot other things than what it is today.
For the benefit of our viewers, what were you doing then that this current Parliament, the outgoing Parliament, has not done?
One, we were serious, and we sought to learn, not basing on a party or even Parliament. So when we formed the Young Parliamentary Association, it is because we acknowledged to ourselves that we had a deficiency in parliamentary practice. And so we sought to self-teach and self-advise, as well as doing the national duty. And if you recall, those were the times when we had a full war in northern Uganda. And these issues had to be discussed. We also had a raging war in Congo. So when OO says that some things are not said, that is giving evidence about himself and his party, but there's nothing that is beyond what Parliament should discuss. If we were able to discuss the deployment of forces without Parliament's approval, we discussed it. We discussed the war in northern Uganda, the undersized uniforms, the rotten food. I mean, everything is on the table, and I think what built those parliaments was because there was a big number of senior legislators that we were learning from and who were available to teach. And so that parliament learned from the best. And so it infected by the best DNA.
Yeah, but again, there've been senior legislators in the House. Were they swallowed by the politics?
Well, they were senior in years, but not senior in legislative work.
Very interesting. Honorable Odonga Otto, another OO in the House. Good to have you. Would it be fair for us to draw our expectations of the 12th Parliament based on the precedent of the past parliaments?
First of all, I hope it was not a slip of tongue. I am double O. I am not OO. You can see from this cap, I wanted to make a clear distinction. OO is Ofondo Pondo. Double O is me, and we are distinct, much as we are all wars. And no bad intentions. And I wish to congratulate you upon the victory of coming to Parliament through the window. I wish you had...
You're in Parliament which passed the law that other persons above 60 should be represented.
I think we even need to amend that law. For you to qualify to be old, you should not be able to walk 2 hills. You must be physically less able. Ofondo Pondo should have gone for a constituency like of my friend Norbert Mao, so that you meet the real voters. Not these ones of Serena, Sheraton.
I think he had about 200 voters.
I can see that Honorable Odongo didn't understand, didn't appreciate why they were seeking representation of other persons. It is really to lobby, to bring their predicament of other persons.
You'll have that in the orientation week.
So please.
Yeah. So
I'm educating you, the other person.
where you are going, I was there. So you need to listen a little attentively to me. I've been in Parliament for 20 years. I joined at 23. I left at 43. I think that there is need for some legislative reforms. First of all, you need to save the young MPs. I would say it's a very risky business for anyone to join Parliament below 27 years. Below 27 years is not advisable. I wouldn't advise anyone, because unless you're a career politician, you are going to have difficulties.
I thought the starting point is 18.
Yeah, but it's dangerous. Where is Honorable Alengot, who came to Parliament at 19 years? I sympathize with people who are ministers. Peter Ogwang, Obua, at 38 years. What will you do when you're 50? So there is a normal trajectory of life. But that aside, we were mentored in Parliament. I was personally mentored by senior legislators, Norbert Mao, Okule Park, Dr. Bulamu, Bulamu, the late,